Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm sharing a video using Altenew's Love Preserved Embossing Folder and Artist Marker Coloring. Now I have embossed a piece of A2 black cardstock that's 4¼ by 5½ inch through the Love Preserved Embossing Folder, and a piece of white cardstock which is cut at 3½ inches to 4¾ and I've embossed that as well in a way that I have a nice black border all across, and that still has that embossed detail on the border, and my white uh, piece becomes the focal point. I will be using the English Country Garden set today for my coloring, and I make sure to place all my caps in screen so that you can see the colors that I'm using. Now, I wanted to give a quick shout out to one of my followers on Instagram. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but the Insta handle is there, Bastel Fuchs, and it's because of her constant reminders and nudging that I have filmed this video today. So I had shared a card earlier on my Instagram, and I'll link that down below in the description box. And she really loved how I created and asked me how I could have used an embossing folder with artist markers to get that look. So this video is a special request from her. Now, I just lay out colors, and my way of coloring is very expressive. I started with yellow, went in with some brown strokes, and then go back in with yellow to blend those together. I mostly lay out feathered strokes from the point that I start, that is where my nib touches the paper, to the opposite end is how I create a stroke. And I do this part by part to the areas that I am coloring and focusing on. Now, since this is an embossing folder, we have the design embossed and it's kind of uprooted from that cardstock. So it's very easy to trace along and add color. Now, for my previous card, I had used a different artist marker set, and I will list that in the description box as well. However, today I had the English Country Garden set handy, and that set has no greens but or oranges, but I mix tons of colors from that set to get a look that I am happy with. So here on the orange, I've laid out yellow. I go in with shades of pink from the set to mix and create that vibrant orange. For the berries, I don't have to do anything. I lay a light coat of the pink, go in with the mid-tone, the darker tone, and then go back in with the light tone to just make sure everything blends, and with the darkest color again to highlight a few areas. Now this is very easy because it's embossed and I don't have to go over the entire region. I just have to kind of highlight few areas to show that this has texture on its surface. So once I was happy, I moved ahead with the brown, coloring those rings on that branch, the strings. And like I said, it's just following along the embossed pattern. Now, as I move along for the leaves, you will see two different color blends. One where I laid yellow, shades of blue, and yellow again to blend it all to create a nice shade of green. And another set where I actually started with a lighter shade of pink, laid blue, and then yellow over to create this nice moss olive sort of a green. So I have varying greens there, and the fact that I am using feathered strokes, not laying my color through and through, is helpful in creating this look. So pretty much my entire process is all about that, laying a base color. In this case, for the leaves, you see it's yellow. For a different set of leaves, it will be pink, and the base color really covers the entire portion that I want to color in. I use my other colors to go over the veins, the details, the texture, and just add small strokes here and there, creating nice texture, interest, and bringing that element to life. And that is what makes a huge difference. So I'm just going to leave you with a little music to sit back and watch the remaining of the coloring process before I come back to complete the card. Once the embossed image is colored in, I go in with a black brush pen. In this case, I'm using a Tomboy black pen to color the negative space. And that is how I get my dark cardstock. So you could be using any color that you want depending on the base. Since my base is black cardstock, I'm using in this black marker and I color in the entire negative space with black. And that's a look at it complete. I love the pop of contrast black brings in, and it actually makes the entire coloring more vibrant. Now to complete it, I'm going to use Altenew's 1-inch black instant dimension foam tape behind this white panel, line it with my card base that was embossed earlier and adhere that. I will add gold metallic splatters that helps tie everything in, and I went ahead and also stamped a sentiment off camera to finish this. I hope this tutorial was helpful and you will give this technique a try with your alcohol markers. Do share your results, tagging me on Instagram. All the details are in the description box below. I also teach regular classes and I go live here on my YouTube channel every Friday at 12 noon. Do check the description box for all the details. Until the next time, take care and bye bye.